Happy Sunday, everybody. Before we start off this video, I want to remind everybody, Content Creator Program is going on for the brand new season. Click that support button, get yourself some free codes. We're currently handing out one free Mana Power Extract plus 150 Rune Fragments, and very shortly we should be getting ourselves 1,000 Essence Stones and 6 more codes on the way, plus a special collab. All right, guys, let's get on with the actual video. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another solo leveling Arise video. All right, guys, this is going to be series 1 of 2. I'm going to make the water team guide for WOBL normal, and then I'm going to do the wind team guide as well too. And we're going to do a couple different variations of this. Now, this is from the live stream. I'm all out of tickets, so I'm going to just walk you guys through each fight with the water team with SJW and show you guys what the results were and how to handle these fights. Now, you guys can see I am obviously overpowered here on my free-to-play account. This is, in fact, my free-to-play account. I have 1.5 here with an A3 Cha, A5 Mei Lin, and an A5 Surin. I just got A4 Cha right now on my free-to-play account. I'm broke. I'm really broke at the moment. I've got 1,700 Essence Stones left, so I'm going to aim for that A5, of course, but this will show you guys at least the very best way to get this done. Now, in terms of sets, I'm using I'm using Desire, I believe, on my Surin. I think Mei Lin's using Angel and White with Sylph, and then Cha is using, if I recall, she's using 2-piece Infamy, 2-piece Curse, and 4-piece Obsidian. All right, now this is the first fight against Bedelia, and she has 1.2 million power. So I'm going to walk you guys kind of through the fight and what to expect here and what this fight is all about and how you want to prepare for it yourself if you plan to do this. Now, I will do this as well on the wind side, just so you guys have a general sense of how to handle it, but I think this is going to be a good tutorial for anyone who is looking to actually do this fight. Now, Mommy over here has got a lot to offer in regards to different things that she does. So first thing I'm going to recommend right away is when you go in for your first attack right here, don't cast it. Wait for her to do this move and then appear. You'll see right there, she'll pop up. If you cast her any of your skills at this point, she's actually going to end up making you waste them because she does this disappearing move. So wait till she's done there. Go ahead and do your Surin Extreme Evasion skill 1 with the motorcycle. You see it does a fairly decent break, and then you jump right into your core damage, and then from core damage right there, don't cast that second skill. You guys see how I wasted that? Whenever she does her first skill and she summons her bats, she'll disappear again. Wait till that disappearing is gone. She'll drop down here, wait for that red. You can dodge it and then cast your second skill. That will actually instantly break her. Now, the reason why this is all so important is because on hard mode, you're most likely going to be underpowered. I'm 1.5 million. I guarantee you it's going to start around 1.7-ish. So I'm already going to be underpowered as it is with my Hunter team. Most of you guys will as well be underpowered. You guys see Kez over here, the simp saying Bedelia my queen. So keep that in mind. All right, now you guys can see I have not broken her yet, all right, and she is starting to do her march. I call this the march of love or seduction. I don't know what you want to call it, but she just starts coming at you here, and you have to avoid her. Now, with the beauty with Surin here, you can actually summon her missiles from a distance and do all of her moves from a distance to keep breaking, or you can just QTE in just to get rid of it, put a little bit of a debuff on, and then go right back into breaking her after that, okay? You guys can see right after here, she does a beam. Avoid that very simply by moving out of the way, and then she starts dropping these little circles on the ground. Go back in and break, and once she's in the break phase right here, you're gonna have Limitless. Now, it's up to you what you want to do. You can continue your Surin rotation and do a little bit of damage, but my recommendation, unlike what I'm doing here, is actually swap out the Cha. So this is a mistake that I'm doing here, because right now I'm getting 30% more damage from all my skills. I actually should have brought Cha in here to do more damage instead, but I messed up and I did that. So remember, Limitless does kick in, and you want to absolutely take advantage of that with your Cha. All right, now with Cha, similar rotations. Skill 2 into skill 1 into your cores. Make sure you maximize your amount right here, especially at A3. Do your alt. Now remember, the alt will miss on smaller units, right? So you guys can see here, I think she disappeared on me. So again, be very mindful of that. That is huge. Now, one thing I do want to mention with the alt for Cha, it is going to be required, okay? It is going to be required during the shield phase to interrupt her. All right, now I believe if you're going to use the wind team, Wu actually can stun her out of her shield. But for Cha specifically, if you run the water team, you're going to need to interrupt with her ultimate. So I would actually save her ultimate, or at least make sure that she has the most attack power, so Mei Lin can give her the buff from her weapon. All right. So one thing with Cha you want to also remember is the moment you're done filling up your bar, you want to get out there as soon as possible. All right. So do your skills and get out and just rotate out. This is manually, this is an okay way to handle this, right? It's only on auto that the problems start occurring, especially in team mode. So Bedelia's main thing is you want to avoid the AoEs. She does those tornadoes, and then right over here, she's going to summon very shortly a couple crystals. Now, there's the big AoE I was talking about. She can probably one-shot our team on hard mode with some of the skills that she has. Now, watch this. We're going to go ahead in, do these attacks. Now, she's shortly going to disappear, and you're going to see she's going to summon a 30 some odd. See right here, I casted this too early. Don't do that. So the first ult was fine. This second ult was a mistake, okay? Because right about now, she has a Crimson Clot. Now, these small ones, avoid them. Focus on the big one. That's all that matters. Once you break that big one, you're going to see she does appear in break phase again. Once again, guys, get in there with Cha and do as much damage as you can. Now, right around 30%-ish, she starts doing her shield. This is where you're going to need your ultimate to interrupt. You're going to see it'll even tell you a big screen. It'll mention that there's a shield popping up. All right, so just give me a few seconds. You'll see it. Here come the tornadoes, or I believe this is the blood clots maybe. Sorry, I feel Jamaican, bro, saying that. Here, okay, here it comes. Okay, so you can see here it says, Bedelia is using a powerful attack, destroy the shield by inflicting the interrupt effect. Now again, the only person that has the interrupt effect on this current team is in fact Cha with her ultimate, and this is where you're going to need to do interrupt. Now, I don't believe stuns with Wu will work. It might, I'm not sure, but it may not, right? And you guys can see here, it does a ton of damage. Again, I went down to 9.2k. So you have to have her ultimate available. So make sure, guys, when you are playing this right there, that ultimate there has the interrupt paralyze effect, right there. See the paralysis right there? That's what you need to make sure connects. That paralyze effect will stop the shield completely in its tracks. So that's really the main mechanic for this one. You don't really have too much to worry about outside of that. All right. So there's the first fight. Now those hearts, I don't know what those 5 hearts do. I never had a chance to really read them, so I'll have to go back and do that on the next guide. But that's Bedelia in a nutshell. I think she's actually much harder than the second boss. The second boss has more mechanics that are easier to identify, but the first boss, I think Bedelia is going to be a much more difficult fight. Now, the SJW fight as well, same thing. I'm using the water team. I'm using actually 2 wind weapons. I'm using DKD, plus I'm using the Stormbringer. All right, so very important to note, I'm not using water weapons here because I don't have the new water weapon. I'm going strictly with using Stormbringer and DKD with wind skills. Now, I think this is a superior build personally until the water weapon comes out. Then we'll see how it goes. So first thing, she comes in right into the middle. Simple attack. Now, one thing to notice, she does not have a break bar. All right, so don't bring break skills unless you plan to do the high rotation skill like that, like I'm doing with my A5 Stormbringer and Vacuum Wave. Right, so I obviously have them, but if you plan to do water, you don't need to bring break skills. You just bring in your best water skills that do the most amount of damage. In some cases, that will actually be your break skills anyways. But in this case, you guys can see it's a pretty straightforward fight. Now, roughly around, I believe, a certain point, she will actually go into one of the phases where she does this ball mechanic. It should go right in the middle, right? You can see she does a lot of disappearing acts. I think it's 50%. She'll go into the middle and she'll start summoning these balls around the field, and she has a big eye around her head with a specific color. It's either going to be red or black, and you have to make sure you pick the same color as whatever she shows on her head. So it's going to pop up right about now. There it is, 50%. You guys can see the eye says black. So I got to find those black spheres and make sure 5 of them don't reach her. Very important to do this, right? You'll actually put her in a break state when she does that. There you guys go, right there. Have a shadow step in, and right there, honestly, Bob's your uncle. This is, I would find, probably the easiest fight in the entire place. It just requires you to have enough TP to make sure you do it. Now, if you have an A5 Stormbringer, and if you have an A5 or A5 DKD with the proper legendary skills like Vacuum Wave and High Speed Rotation, this fight is a joke. Literally a joke. I think this is going to be the easiest fight inside of WOBL. And you guys can see we made short work of her very simply by bringing in too much power. Now, a couple of things I do want to say. Normal mode will not drop as much EXP as hard mode Deimos. If you're looking for EXP for core specifically, this is not what you want to do. But for free-to-play players, our remnant power matters a lot because it boosts our power. So, farming Yogumunt is going to be a big deal for a lot of people just to get that 50k extra power or as much as you possibly can in order to be ready for hard mode. Hard mode is, again, going to push your combat power limits, and you're going to need a lot more power than what's shown here. All right, now the next fight, Yogumunt himself, Yogurt Berry. We are going to go in with SJW. Now here you actually do need some break skills. So again, we're setting up the exact same way. The only thing I would recommend is make sure when you do break, guys, you are breaking with Soren, because you want that extra limitless, I think it's called limitless or something, debuff on there. And whenever she breaks, obviously, she's going to give you that 30% extra damage. Plus, he'll be in the break state for a lot longer, right? Because That's the whole point of her mechanic. So I'm waiting until she pops up again before I break him, and then I'm going to use her to get that extra buff in, and then we're gonna go do some more damage when that happens. So here she comes. There's the break. You guys can see limited break. That's what it's called. Sorry, limited break. So here now we're doing 30% more damage with all of our skills. You can see how much more damage comes through in that break phase, right? And he's in break a lot longer. So right around here, when you hit about 70%ish, he's gonna grab you. Okay, and you're gonna go into another dimension. It looks like Tetris pretty much. Here it is, and you're actually sorry. This part normally he has to do this first. So 50%, 70% he does this orb spear thing, right? Where if you get hit by it, it's the same in the story mode. You get stunned, and right around now is where he grabs you, right here. So normally this would have happened with a lot more HP, but I've drove him down so fast. So in this phase, it's pretty straightforward. You just have to avoid the blocks that come at you from the portal. The easiest way to do this, if you have the DKD, honestly, is just cast DKD skill. It'll take you right almost to the end of the screen twice, and you don't even have to deal with this phase. Just avoid the first one, DKD twice, you're all the way at the end. So it's not even that hard, right? There you guys go. He comes back now. And then from here, he's just going to start summoning various lasers and orbs that are going to come at you. Avoid those. This crystal will pop up around the 50% mark as well. You'll have to break it. And once you break it, he'll come back into the screen with a break phase. So again, you can go in with Shadow Step if you need to. Summon all of your supports here. And then just absolutely destroy him. So the hardest part is coming up very soon. He's going to summon a couple eyeballs, right? It's not just one, like a story mode. He summons a couple of them. So save your ultimate. You can pretty much one-shot all of those eyeballs when they do drop. I don't think I even see them here. And then after the eyeballs pop up at 20%, he brings up his recovery bar. And that's where you have to break him, or at least have Cha to do unrecoverable. Okay, here comes the eyeballs. Actually, they do pop up. There they are. There's two of them, I believe. I already killed one. And there it is, right? There's the break. So you don't have to break him if you don't want to. You can just use Cha to do unrecoverable, and that'll end the fight. And right here, this is what every man looks like after a good session in bed. And he's gone. He's gone. That's it. Pretty much it, right? Very straightforward fight. Now, this one is not the problem. It's the Hunter mode one that'll be the problem, right? Because Hunter mode is going to have a lot more power, and you're going to need to actually reach that TP in order to get it done. So again, more remnant power there. And then, of course, we're going to move on now to the Hunter version of it. Let me just rewind a little bit here. Now, Hunter mode, same scenario, guys. It doesn't change much. Exact same rotation, exact same fight, right? The only difference here is you don't have SJW. So water rotation, very straightforward. Dodge this into her first skill, into her core, into her second skill. By this point, you should have one more rotation, half a rotation to finish it. So wait for the lasers to pass. There you guys go. You can probably get your core up fast enough to break him. There it is. We're about to do first skill, and there's the Limitless. Now, again, in this phase, it would have been smart for me to tag out, put Cha in, get myself the extra 30% damage. I didn't do that. So please, guys, make sure when you are doing this rotation, you don't bring in Mei Lin, you don't keep using Sauron, you just swap out to Cha and just do as much damage as you can, and then swap back in and finish up that rotation afterwards, okay? So you guys go with 90%, we're going in. Cha does insane amounts of damage here. You guys can see we're just eating through that bar of health. Not as much as SJW, clearly, but still enough to matter. Now, make sure when you are using the water team, you are rotating between Sauron and Mei Lin to keep up that extra water damage. It's going to help a lot in regards to the amount of damage Cha does. And then as much as you can cast this skill right here, it's going to boost Cha's damage even further by giving her more defense, crit rate, etc., right? And core damage. So you guys go. Next phase, it's the balls or the planets, whatever you want to call them. Again, you guys can continue dodging, or just right here, you see we paralyzed them. We did some damage here as well. Sometimes the skill does miss, by the way. Cha's ultimate. This has been identified by me and others as well. So make sure you step back when you cast her ultimate. That way, all the swords will hit. I hope they fix this problem. All right, so next phase, 70%. We are now here into the Tetris phase. I call it the Tetris phase. Avoid just these blocks. It's very, very easy. Now, I'm assuming in hard mode, we're going to have them come faster at us, probably more of them at a time, a lot less gaps to fill. That's what I said. And here, again, you don't need to use Sauron. Just make sure that you keep up the 10 water buffs, right? Debuffs on the opponent. Again, same with Mei Lin. Make sure you get in all of your water damage with Puddle, and then go in there with Cha and just absolutely destroy. You are going to rotate off whenever Cha's done her full rotation, just to Sauron, just to keep up the main debuffs. But this is essentially it, guys. This is the whole fight, right? Again, when the eyes pop up, have an ultimate available from Cha. You can one-shot them all. You can paralyze them at the same time, so avoiding all that damage. And the beauty of this is at about 20% mark, you don't even need to have or you don't even have the break available. All you got to do is just make sure you have unrecoverable available, and you can avoid the whole break phase where he recovers HP. Just so everyone is aware, we did test how much he recovers. In case you do fail, it's 20%. All right, it's not 50% like the story mode. It's actually only 20%. So you can actually get away with it. But on hard mode, because time is going to be such a big factor, you're not going to really have that luxury to yourself, right? All right, so now next phase, going into the fragment again. So here, just avoid these balls. They're annoying, yes, but this is fairly easy to kill. Stack up your debuffs on it. There you guys go. Bring Cha in and absolutely demolish this crystal. While this is happening, there's mirrors coming in from every side. If you touch them, you will take a lot of damage. Now, I'm assuming that phase is going to be probably half your health on hard mode if you get hit once, and that crystal is going to have a lot more HP. So again, I think right now normal mode is very forgiving. I think hard mode is going to be very unforgiving for a lot of the damage that's being caused during this phase, right? So you guys can see we're pushing him. He's back in now, 34%. We've got 2 minutes left. I think this is pretty good timing. Now that I have more power even towards my water team, this is going to be even faster. But I do think that the water team is more optimal for this fight compared to the wind team, unless you have Goto, Mirai, and probably Hansi Mi, and we'll see how Leonard does. Leonard might actually be really good for hard mode because they usually, when they bring out a character, they are built for that mode. So Leonard might actually make the wind team comparable to water, but right now with Cha, she's just too good. Even when she takes hits, guys, like she doesn't even really get hurt too much by it, so it's not that bad. So you guys can see 17%. He popped up that. I have the unrecoverable. I didn't have to break him there. I could have let it go the whole time, right? So just make sure you finish this phase, and then Bob's your uncle. The whole fight is over, and you've officially completed Yogumunt normal mode with the water team, which is a pretty straightforward fight. So there you guys go. And again, I know I have more power than required. It is what it is. This is my free-to-play account, right? When hard mode comes in, that's when the real challenge will be for a lot of us. But for you free-to-play players who are starting brand new, and you're just here, or for those whales who are brand new and just getting to this point of the fight, this is the whole rotation of everything that goes on for each phase and each fight. So I hope this guide helped you guys out. Should you farm this or Deimos? So if you're brand new and you're looking just to gain power, this is a better option. If you're a veteran, you're looking for experience points specifically for your cores, then hard Deimos is much better. It drops way more EXP cores for you to level up. But if you're trying to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, I'm going to continue farming normal because I want Yogumunt. It's going to give me more power than breaking a few cores here and there. All right, folks, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.